Nostalgia Hoops, Nostalgia Sports and Culture. Shout out to everybody tuning in. So, we got breaking news. If you're tuning into the screen, women's basketball, August 3rd, 2022, p.m. Eastern Time. Paige Bueckers suffers torn ACL. Crazy, like balling in the championship. We know all the hype. We've been hearing about her since high school, and she's been one of them special ones that's really living up to it. And we was looking forward to the comeback season. We had just recently seen her, I want to say, at a Mystics game. At a Mystics game, her and ZZ, and everything was just looking up. But this is the game. This the sport we love. You gotta accept the ups with the downs, and just hope that she has a strong team around her that she stay as positive as possible, and just know it's just a part of it. You only thing I hope is that we get to see her at her best at the next level. So I think to not see that will be something, just taken away from the whole experience of what we've been hyped for, and this has been the talk, where she gonna go, who she gonna go to, how she's gonna impact the league. This is one of those, big names that you really could see changing and branding. Like, it kind of like give me that Tarasi feel, like, Tarasi on her way out, and that same type of energy coming in with Paige. And man, when something like this happen, I guess the player I would think of is, I would always hear these stories from guys like in their 40s and stuff. They'd be telling me, Grant Hill, before, if he ain't had them injuries, man, Grant Hill would have been this, and that. I always hear that. So I just hope she can get the right team around her, the right sports science. I don't know. I guess all you can do is just hope for the best, because you can't control something like this. Like, when it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Some people come back, and we seen Durant going crazy. We seen Clay come back twice and, get injured. So it's just one of those things that can go either way. But let's go into the story, man. UConn's women's basketball junior guard Paige Bueckers suffered a torn arterial, I ain't gonna even try that, ligament in her left knee on Monday, and will miss the 2022-2023 season. Bueckers sustained the injury during a pickup basketball game and underwent an MRI Monday evening to confirm the injury. Bueckers will undergo surgery on Friday at UConn Health. An update on her recovery timetable will be made following the procedure. Statement from head coach Gino Auriemma: we all devastated for Paige. She's worked really hard to get stronger and healthier this offseason, and this is an unfortunate setback. Paige is obviously an amazing basketball player, but she's a better person and teammate, and it's unfortunate that this has happened to her. We'll miss her presence on the court, but she'll do everything she can to still lead and help her teammates this season. Our program will support Paige through her healing process to help her come back better and stronger. So that's Coach giving her some positive words. And, we all just hoping for the best, man. We'll go down the timeline. Shout out to, hey, if y'all been here from the beginning and y'all go watch WBB Weekly, you gonna see a bits of what we was doing over here on there. But shout out to y'all, man. We happy that anybody tuned in, and we appreciate everybody that watch, man. Hit that thumbs up, keep us in the algorithm. Gonna be a lot more. We putting a lot more pressure on the market these coming weeks and months. You see the game and stuff, all that's coming. It's gonna be a lot more digital content, a lot more interactive content. Just a lot of good things I got planned in my mind. So gonna really start executing on that and just being active on all platforms. Devastating news for UConn basketball. I just want to see what's the vibes from the people. The score last season provided an example of the stark contrast between UConn women's basketball with Paige Bueckers and UConn without Bueckers on what the Huskies learned from that experience and which players need to step up the most in her absence. So let's check this article out. Just Women's Sports, August 3rd, 2022, written by Eaton Less. What Paige Bueckers' season-ending injury means for UConn. Less than an hour after the news broke, season-ending injury broke Wednesday, Paige was already trending on Twitter. Fans, coaches, players offered their support to the UConn star after the program announced the rising junior had torn her ACL during a pickup basketball game and would miss 2022-2023 season in its entirety. Social media made it abundantly clear in a matter of minutes just how important Bueckers is to the game as a whole. To keep it real, her height and her importance to the game, I mean, for all the old school watchers, I always hear how, don't trip on me, but how the height for Kareem was and his impact. Shannon Sharp had just said like he was already the best basketball player in the world in college. You kind of, at times, I'm not saying she was the best in the world, but it was just like that, looking forward to it, that same hype like when Zion was in college. Like, you could just see it. You got to watch this person really grow, and with social media being around, you really just got to walk that whole step. So it's like, man. But of course, no one will miss her as much as the Huskies. We're all devastated for Paige. We got that last season. Last season was a season provided an example of the stark contrast between UConn with Bueckers and UConn without Bueckers. And this time around, the Huskies don't have experienced players like Christian Williams, Olivia Nelson, or Ivana Westbrook to help soften the blow. When Bueckers injured her knee during the win over Notre Dame, December 5th, 2021, the Huskies sputtered, losing to Georgia Tech, Louisville, Oregon, and Villanova. So that's just showing her impact. Like, as soon as she went out, it's just a string of losses. The loss to the Wildcats was UConn's first conference defeat since 2013. When Bueckers returned in February, the Huskies surprised many by advancing all the way to the national championship game where they lost to South Carolina 64-49. And if you remember that game, she was still getting busy, and it's just coming back. So we've seen players like Kyrie be out for a season and come back and get put out. She came back and got to a championship and got busy in the championship against, the best in the world, Aaliyah Boston. Losing Bueckers in the middle of the season proved to be a double-edged sword. On the one hand, UConn suffered uncharacteristic losses without the dynamic guard, but on the other hand, the rest of the team got stronger in their absence, and that depth was a useful tool down the stretch of the NCAA tournament. This time, things are different. The Huskies have more time to make adjustments, but their personnel is limited and young. UConn returns for Aaliyah Edwards, defensive stopper, Nika Mule, second-year grad, Dorka Ruiz, and 2021 recruit Azizi Fudd, sophomore Caroline Darkman, and the number 5 recruit in her class also returns after making the most increased role as the 2021-2022 season progressed. From there, the roster consists of 2 freshmen, Ice Brady, Ayanna Patterson, and Mary DeBerry, who averaged 6.2 minutes a game last season. Fairfield grad transfer Lou Lopez, and redshirt junior R.B. Griffin, who missed last season with a back injury. I mean, it's just time where coach going to have to show that he can coach, we see a lot of these top college coaches getting all of these top players, and it's easy to look good when you have top players, but you're gonna have to just get busy without your number one, and we can really see your impact on the game. So no excuses. That's a lot of unknowns. UConn doesn't generally go through growing pains like other teams do to start the season, but the perennial powerhouse is entering a new era. Beyond established players like Fudd Edwards, the team will rely on others taking big jumps in 2022-2023. That list of potential breakout players starts with Darkman Griffin. Darkman played consistent minutes last season when Bueckers went down with the knee injury, posting 420-plus point games, including a career-high 28 against St. John's in January. By the end of the season, Darkman looked confident for the Huskies, averaging 9.8 and 3.2 rebounds per game. The Massachusetts native came to UConn as a capable scorer, finishing her high school career with 2,092 points, despite missing most of her freshman and sophomore seasons due to injury. Caroline Dartman. So here go a little video.
Get it in. It's Buell. Clock is running. They get it in the hands of Dushawn. She'll drive. Up. Back to go.
How about that? A freshman.
Caroline. Shout out to her for her. They tried to downplay her double-double. I mean, we seen it going through social media, but she was getting busy like Aaliyah. She's not afraid of the moments or Yamato reporters. The Charmaine performance against St. John's, she just plays a silver lining, right? Who would have thought she'd be doing this? Nobody gets hurt. Everything stays the way it is. Maybe she doesn't get an opportunity to play this many minutes. We knew she was good, but we found out that she's really good. The Huskies will need her to be even better this season. Griffin, more of an unknown after undergoing back surgery in January and missing the entire 2021-2022 season. But she's also a versatile player with big upside, a 5-star recruit in 2019. The athletic 6'1" wing dominated her senior year at Ossining Senior High School, averaging 28.2 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. Griffin played in all 32 games as a freshman at UConn, coming off the bench to average 6.4 points and 5.4 rebounds per game. As a sophomore, she averaged similar numbers while also making her way into the starting lineup 5 times. Meanwhile, Fudd Edwards, the 3 returners who played the most minutes last season, will serve as the team's core. Fudd, who was named to the Huskies' 2022 Big East All-Freshman team, will likely be called upon to lead the Huskies offensively, and her average of 12.1 points per game should increase. She's also the obvious choice to take over at point guard. Bueckers boasted a 2-point time with the ball in her hands. Her absence in the point guard spot may be where the Huskies miss her the most. Last season, Westbrook and Williams took on those duties with Bueckers out, with Mule serving as another alternative. But the 2022 Big East Defensive Player of the Year is more effective on the other end of the court, so Auriemma likely won't turn to her regularly unless he has no other options. UConn will also need to find an on-court leader to take over for Bueckers, but don't expect her to go silent. Just like last season, she'll continue to be vocal and lead her team from the sideline. That's one sure thing in a season of unknowns. Yeah, and like I said, she got that infectious Taurasi Draymond, like that ability to, even if she's not playing, she can galvanize her squad, and that's, something that we look forward to seeing at the next level. We just look forward to her being back, and this is words from her page on her Instagram. It's so crazy. It's so crazy because you work so hard to get back healthy. you feel stronger than ever, and you are playing your best basketball with one sudden movement. It all shifts. It's hard trying to make sense of it all now, but I can't help but think that God has used me as a testimony as to how much you can overcome with Him by your side. Some little kid that just tore their ACL and had a major surgery might need this story, because it's going to be one hell of a comeback. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but my absolute love for the game and godly strength will get me back to where I need to be. I work too hard for the little kid and these pictures to keep going, for the dreams I've had since I first picked up the ball. So why would I stop now? The prayers and love mean so much to me, and the doubts that I won't get back to where I was might mean even more. God put a dream in my heart, and even if I have to walk through a nightmare to get it, I'm going to keep believing. All love, P. And yeah, it's powerful. That's all I can say. It's powerful. We seen recently this weekend with boxer Danny Garcia speaking of the pressures of professional sports and mental health and how it weighing on him, and he just kept fighting through it, and he had to get back, to that place, to that, the love. And for him it was boxing, and for her it was just getting back, fighting, and to be fighting to get back to this point in which, she been through the battle once, and now she got to go and fight that fight again. So we all just wishing Paige the best, and we look forward to seeing her get back and, get to that peaceful place. Again, we all love watching her. She loved playing nostalgia hoops, nostalgia sports and culture. Like, share, subscribe, get us in the algorithm.